games real quick just because they're easy to talk about. The games are basically like, do you guys remember Double Dragon?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's like Double Dragon existed, but then God of War never existed. So it's like a beat 'em up in the style of Double Dragon with really good 3D graphics. I mean, I really think that the look of the game is great, but the action is kind of stupid. I mean, it's basically brawling. Your combos are hit the X button 3 times. You know, you can pick people up and throw them. You can pick up weapons. It slowly gets more and more stuff as you go, but there's not much brains behind what's going on at all. You walk down some hallways, you beat some people up, a door opens, you walk down through the door, go up some stairs.
Who do you play as in the game?
Nighthawk and Rorschach, and the version I'm playing. I haven't gotten to the second one yet, but I'm pretty much through the first one. So Nighthawk and Rorschach, and that's exactly who I would want to play as. So
is there
you're all trapped in here with me.
Is there a lot of blue penis in the video game?
No, I haven't seen Dr. Manhattan so far.
Okay.
But, you know, Dr. Manhattan's one of those ones. It's like Superman. I don't know if you could actually make a Dr. Manhattan game. There's too much he can do.
Yeah, that's why the Superman games always suck.
They do suck. They always say, well, we're not going to have him have life necessarily. We're just going to make it game over if a lot of people die. And I'm like, you know what? How about just make a Superman game and just let me, like, kick the shit out of everything?
Well, this one doesn't even have that. Fun. I mean, there's, like... So far from what I've played, there's not a single person in the game that's not a enemy that you're just brawling against. I mean, it literally is like walk into a room, defeat 3 enemies, walk into a room, defeat 7 enemies, walk into a room, defeat 8 enemies, rinse and repeat all the way through. The story's pretty satisfying. It's played out in the form of the motion graphic novel, which you can download and buy, which I definitely plan on buying soon.
Oh, you're going to be one of those guys.
And it's not super deep for a story, but if you're a Watchmen fan like I am, I mean, it's a good way to extend the experience. The complete experience is $50, comes with the director's cut version of the movie, and the disc with the games, and then some, like, book-type stuff, which I hadn't even bothered opening yet.
You said $50? Did you get the Blu-ray version?
It's $50, you get the Blu-ray version. So basically...
Oh, okay.
You get the Blu-ray version of the movie, which is about $30. So you're spending about $20 more to get the games, which is about $10 per game, which I think is relatively fair for these games. I wouldn't, $60 I would say no-go. But if you own a PS3 and have any interest in playing kind of a dumb brawler of Watchmen, it's worth the purchase. There's the Dr. Manhattan edition as well, which might be a Best Buy exclusive, which looks interesting, but I didn't buy it. These are the ones that I've watched. But the meat and potatoes of the package is the Watchmen Director's Cut. Do you fellas ever watch extras on your DVDs or Blu-rays?
I do.
Yeah. Do you?
I'm guilty of it, because I usually do the extras before I watch the movie.
Very rarely do I do it. I will if people are funny on like a commentary track, like I always watch Kevin Smith's commentaries for his movies. Rarely,
he's a fucking genius.
Rarely do I just watch, if it's Iron Man. Well, actually, I did do that. Never mind. I guess sometimes. Most of the time, no, though, frankly.
Well, I really don't do extras much, and it's funny because as a kid, I really enjoyed watching making of and that kind of stuff on movies. But most of the time, so much of what you watch in extras is just boring, and you end up like wasting your time, 10 minutes of your life watching about someone designing the costumes for a movie. And the coolest thing that the director's cut, at least the Blu-ray version, I don't know if it's in the DVD version, has, the actual director's cut additions to the movies aren't that big at all. As a matter of fact, they're barely noticeable. They don't really add much to it. It's just more Watchmen. Most of actually what is in the director's cut content isn't concerning the main Watchmen. It's about one of the old Watchmen who gets murdered during the course of the movie, which you actually don't see in the real version, and you do in the director's cut. But the big thing with the director's cut Blu-ray is the extreme experience, which is actually sitting there and watching the movie with Zack Snyder talking to you almost like he's in your living room, and he'll break in and show you a segment, he'll break in and talk about things, and it's like watching the movie.
That's just rude. That's just fucking rude.
It's awesome.
I don't want somebody jumping in and talking to me.
It's like the best commentary track ever, because
Really?
you get to watch the movie still, but you get things broken in, you get all this stuff thrown at you, and it is probably one of the most worthwhile extras I've ever seen, beyond some of the Terry Gilliam movies have actual documentaries about him making the movies, which is always, if you know anything about Terry Gilliam, who made 12 Monkeys, Brazil, he's had a lot of trouble getting his movies made, so those are really interesting, and this is...
I got a question, like, did you read the graphic novel?
Yes.
You did read the graphic novel?
Yes, years ago.
So, how well does the graphic novel... How well is this a representation of the graphic novel?
I think it is a amazingly good representation. Not word for word perfect, but I actually think the changes they made, especially to the end of the movie, make it a better experience than even the graphic novel. And I know that's probably sacrilege to say as a Watchmen fan.
I've heard of people say that. But I would agree.
It's true. It's true.
It's really good. I mean, it's very impressive.
So is this a rent, a buy, or what?
This is a buy as soon as you possibly can for me.
Buy like when the store opens up on Tuesday.
So if you have a Blu-ray player, get it on Blu-ray. If you have a DVD player, just go out there and go crazy and buy it.
I can already tell you I'm going to end up watching this many, many times. I recommend actually watching it almost like a mini-series and doing it in hour-long installments and just kind of, get up, go do something else, come back. Because it is a long movie. There's a lot going on. And it's too long. It could have been easily divided up into two movies, I think. But you would have had to ramp up some scenes that wouldn't have made it as pitch perfect as it is.
Yeah.
I strongly, strongly, strongly recommend this movie. The transition from from movie theaters to TV screens has been very kind to this movie. It's just packaged better, I think, in digestible packets, whereas in the movie theater, you're stuck there. One of the things I really found distracting in the movie theater is that Dr. Manhattan is naked in a lot of scenes, and not only is there a 3-foot-long dong on the screen in some shots, but you have people sniggering and laughing about it. And I can understand why they were. I mean, it's a big blue penis on the movie screen. But
so I rented it. I'm going to watch it. After I rent it, I should go buy it, from what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
Talk to us next week, Dave. I bet you money you're going to come back and tell me that you're going to go buy that movie.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, knowing you're probably going to come back and say you're not going to buy it just because you like to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're going to be Mr. Cool, like, no, I didn't think it was that good.
So, Overdose officially gives it a 3 out of 3 must-buy for Watchmen.
Yes.
And speaking of comics, though, something really big has recently happened in the comic book world and the movie world, and it actually was featured in the state that I was born, California. I don't know if you guys have heard of this little event they do. It's called Comic-Con.
I hear things about Comic-Con.
Yeah. They... It's not to be confused with the Necronomicon, but the Comic-Con. They do it yearly, and it's quite interesting. They show some awesome things like Tron Legacy, which is basically the sequel to Tron, our beloved Disney movie. And, oh my god, it was so amazing. I'm excited.
It was truly awesome. Not the special effects weren't perfectly on there. I thought that the guy's face...
I thought the special effects were awesome.
I thought that the meat of what was going on looked really good, but his face looked different.
That's what it looked like in the first one.
Well, it did look a bit like that, but
I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep that same feel of, like, here's the computer graphics, here are the people. Bam. I think they want to make it have that, stiff, here's this and here's this, not like a nice blend.
I don't know. I think it's mainly that everything else you're seeing is CG, and lots of the actual shots in Tron, it is them colored different, wearing outfits. They weren't doing that full body 3D in Tron. Like all the environments were 3D, but the bodies weren't. Mm-hmm. And then this one, you can tell that the body is 3D. But I think by the time you see the final movie, it will be more blended